budget describes statement as false. We are coming on air with the latest news that the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions have down tools, declaring a 7-day warning strike over failure of the government to fulfill their promise to members after withholding 4 months' salaries. The two unions, SSANU and NASU, says the decision is part of the resolution of the Joint Action Committee after a meeting in Akure at the weekend. President of SSANU, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, who read the communique at the meeting to journalists in Abuja, explains that the decision to embark on a warning strike was taken as a last resort, since several protest letters and other communications with the federal government did not result in the payment of the withheld salaries. The two unions are declaring this strike basically to demand for the payment of 4 months withheld salaries of their members after the 2022 nationwide strike. Well, that's another crisis on our hands besides the economy. Let's see how that plays out and the response of the government. Now, let's get to the claim by the Senator Abdul Ningi that the federal government is operating two versions of the 2024 budget, which has sparked reactions both in the presidency and other key institutions of government. The presidency describes the statement as false. A statement by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Nanuga, says, contrary to the strange view expressed by the senator, there was no way the Senate could have debated and passed a 25 trillion naira budget that was not presented to the National Assembly. That's what he said. The presidency also described as far-fetched and unbecoming of a leader of his status the claim by Senator Ningi that the 2024 budget was anti-North. We're not done with the issue of the budget. In the meantime, 3 senators, including Senator Steve Sunday Karimi, Titus Zam, and Kaka Shehu, have also dismissed the allegation of budget pardon by Senator Abdul Ningi as unfounded and baseless. The senators, in a statement on behalf of the Northern Senators Forum, warned against what they describe as antics of blackmailers bent on creating an atmosphere of crisis in the upper chamber of the National Assembly. The 3 senators say they cannot be used to blackmail the budget process, which was done in good faith. Let's move on now, where the Labour Party says it remains the only option to credible leadership, which has been the bane of the country's development. The chairman of the party, Mr. Julius Abure, gave the position at a press briefing in Lagos, where he expressed delight over the many victories won by the party despite the calls by various camps on calumny against the leadership. He also adds that the Labour Party is in support of the implementation of the Orange report, which he claims is long overdue.
We have over-bloated civil service. We have over-bloated agencies where we waste our money, waste our time, waste all kinds of resources on those agencies. So Labour Party is supportive of the Orange report, and we are looking forward to its full implementation. I think it's a right step in the right direction. More so that the life of Nigerians have not improved. And I think I've spoken to that when I was making my remark. The country have not improved in terms of economy, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of health, in terms of education. All aspects of our lives is still in a very, very chaotic position. And therefore, nothing has changed. Nothing has improved the life of the people. And as it stands today, Labour Party still remains the credible alternative.
Let's now shift gears to the concern raised by the Chief Judge of Imo State Justice, Teresa Chukwuemeka Chikeka, that insecurity is slowing down justice delivery in Nigeria, especially in the southeast. During a special court session to commence the 2023-2024 legal year in Owerri, Imo State capital, Justice Chikeka says insecurity in the state has resulted in the loss of personnel, infrastructure, and man-hours in the last 2 years. Our correspondent, Eita Kwekutei, has a report.
Members of the bench and the bar in Imo State arrived at Justice Chukwudifo Puto Aika Complex, venue of this year's special assizes of the Imo State Judiciary, to mark the beginning of the 2023-2024 legal year in the state. The ceremony, which holds every year, affords the judiciary an opportunity to take a detailed evaluation and appraisal of its performance the previous year. Theme for this year is Stabilizing the Wheels of Justice Delivery in Contemporary Nigeria, and Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Owerri Branch, Ugochukwu Alina, professed solution to some of the challenges facing the judiciary.
There is a growing concern of justice delivery sector, which is generally perceived to be performing below public expectations. There is an ever-increasing demand for improved institutional capacity and capability for effective, efficient, and responsive justice delivery. One of the ancient fundamental principles of justice is that it should be served or delivered without delay. The duration of court cases must be balanced with the outcome in such a manner that the integrity of the process is not undermined.
Representing the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, Jude Unodum, and the Chief Judge of Imo State, Teresa Chukwuemeka, highlight the impact of insecurity on the justice delivery system, among other issues.
In Imo State, the peculiar factor that has hobbled the wheels of justice delivery is the perception of insecurity. In some parts of the state, it transcends perception. It is a reality. It has caused almost all the courts outside the Owerri Capital Territory to relocate to the state capital, thereby exerting enormous pressure on the limited resources of the judiciary in Owerri.
There is no denying the fact that the judiciary is presently passing through severe storm in our contemporary society as a result of various challenges it has had to sail through, particularly in the last few years, challenges that appear to shake its very foundation. These tempest we are passing through, our whole task is to ensure that the judiciary, considered to be the lifeboat of the society in a sinking ship, remains stable and does not falter or dive into other institutions, but that will herald the extinction of the society and humanity.
Meanwhile, the Imo State Governor Opus Odima, represented by his deputy Chinyere Ekomaru, promises that his administration will continue to partner with the judiciary.
Let me gladly state that in the past 4 years of the 3-hour shared prosperity administration of His Excellency Governor Opus Odima, CON, those achievements are in line with stabilizing the wheels of justice delivery in the state.
I understand.
A total of 18,100 cases were registered between October 2022 and September 2023, with only 1,966 cases disposed between the period under review. Even members of the judiciary consider this low, but blame the situation on the level of insecurity in the state. Eyitope Kute, Channels Television News.
Insecurity is a very, very concerning issue in the country. It's been an issue for a very long time. And everybody is trying to look for one solution or the other. The latest is the spate of kidnappings that have happened in places like Borno and the latest one in Kaduna State. It's been 4 days now, and over 200 children, students and children, have not been reunited with their families. They are still in the abductors' captivity. And it's so sad that in 2024, we still have this narrative. Barely 10 years ago, similar incidents happened in Chibok. And not too long after that, we had in Dapchi and now in Kaduna. Children went to school and they've not come back till today, 4 days down the line. It's difficult to process that. That's why we had to bring in the people in the know, the intelligence community. We've been joined on the program by the former DSS Deputy Director, who is joining us from New York via Zoom, Mr. Dennis Amakri. Mr. Amakri, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
When you heard about 200 children, students and children no longer with their families 4 days down the line, I don't know, how did you process this? 10 years after what happened in Chibok.
It breaks my heart that after 10 years, we've not been able to solve this problem. You know, because when you look at it, there are no consequences for the people that are from it. They have gone ahead to kidnap those kids. And then, of course, instead of dealing with them directly with the military might that we have in this country, we've been playing palliatives with them. And, no serious action that, will make them just stop it. I know that there is a lot of military incursions, and some of their leaders have been decimated, but it is still very, very important that there is kids' glove when we come to this, because apparently they are kidnapping these children, and then because most of the parents of these children cannot pay the kind of money they are looking for. And they are looking for government to come and pay that kind of money. So it is something that government really need to sit back, go back to the drawing board and deal with.
I'm wondering, one of the things that baffles all of us is the fact that how did bandits invade a community, carry over 200 young children, move them for kilometers of distance, no tracking, nobody stopped them, nobody. How the ease of execution is still what is confusing everyone. From your intelligence community perspective, how can that be possible without the state getting any form of a red light?
Well, it is very, very possible, because you find out that it is something that will, confuse anybody. More than 200 kids. In fact, the last one that happened has more kids, 280 something. And then some of them are very small. Now, you have to pack all these people, goad them into the forest without anybody missing their way or trying to escape, and then take them down. Some of the kids moving very slowly, and then, of course, take them all the way down to wherever you want to put them, and then keep them hidden from security agents until you start to call for ransom and stuff like that. I think when you look at a situation like that, either there are some compromise, compromise from somewhere, anywhere, and then, of course, there must be people that must have helped them to do this.
All right. It's like the more we ask questions, the more questions we want to ask. But we will switch gears on our DSTV platform to head to Minna Airport for the commencement of the Renewed Hope Agenda on Food Security and Agricultural Mechanization under the Tinubu administration. Is a live event that we're going to, on our DSTV platform, we're going to be bringing you that live coverage in Minna. It's taking place at the Minna Airport City Special Agro Processing Free Zone, but that will be only on our DSTV platform. We'll continue the rest of our programming on other platforms like the terrestrial platform and our online streaming platforms. Let me come back to you, Mr. Dennis, on this one, Mr. Makri, on this particular one. What do you think are the drivers? Because we've been looking at all kinds of ideas behind. Is this a political ideology that is driving this? Is this a religious ideology? Is this a business ideology? Is it even a regional ideology? Or is it just a gamut of all of this? How do we isolate so that we can know how to deal with these issues? Because children are in question right now, and this is one too many.
It is a gamut of all the ideologies you've talked about. This thing started as a religious ideology in the Northeast, with Boko Haram. And then from there, it went into politics, political. It became political, whereby there are people, even politicians, who were involved in it. So it became political. And as it moves down to the Northwest, there was this whole economic part of it. it became economic because a criminal economy that is operating in that area, where people are making money, and at the same time, besides kidnapping, they are into illegal mining, and of course, it's like a siege where we've had some foreigners, because most of these people doing these things are not Nigerians. We have to be very clear about that. And that's why anytime this is discussed, I want people to realize that we have to first identify these people and then know exactly where they come from, why they are doing it, and then we'll get our answers. Because...
Mr. Makri, now you've mentioned it, isn't it almost obnoxious, literally almost bordering on ludicrous on this particular issue when we see that the institution of state cannot protect its citizen from foreign invaders, desecrating Section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution, which posits the primary responsibility of government to protecting the people themselves. Every time we say foreigners come and do this thing, how long shall we continue to allow foreigners to kill our people, invade our people, and kidnap our people?
When I sit back to analyze the whole thing, sometimes I feel that the crux of the problem would be that Nigerians are not patriotic. They are not patriotic because we know that there were people in government who were supporting Boko Haram against the Jonathan administration. And then after that, we also know that during the Buhari administration, there was this altercation between some governors in the north and these particular bandits. And at the same time, we also have some religious leaders who came in defense of these people. And in fact, the Kaduna governor have to say that we should go and carpet bomb them, So all these show that there are people who are behind and then trying to make sure that they have some kind of cover. They have some kind of cover. Because I still don't imagine how Boko Haram fighters who have killed a lot of people in villages could later come out and be given pardon, and these people will go back and attack the villages that they've attacked before. So we have to come together as a country and then, of course, look at this problem to know exactly what is this problem, how do we solve it, and then, of course, we can solve it.
So, do you agree that we should be a bit more, which is almost a consensus for a lot of people, especially the victims, we should look into a stronger punitive measure? Some people are saying death penalty as soon as someone is found to be this. So how would the judiciary help play a critical role? Because we're still run a democracy. We can't just get someone and kill the person. How do you think the judiciary can help in terms of the administration of justice to ensure that we get justice as quickly as possible for these enemies of the state?
Well, you know that some states actually went ahead to pass death penalty on kidnappers. In fact, a couple of days ago, the First Lady have said it, that if kidnappers are caught, they should be given the capital punishment. And with this is impeded by the whole problem of mixing politics with security, because we cannot keep on doing this. I keep mentioning this because the mixture of security and politics is what is causing most of these problems. So you plan to now go ahead to give them the capital punishment. Meanwhile, one sheikh from somewhere is saying that, no, the Nigerian government should do more for them. That's why they are becoming rascally, because Nigerian government is not doing this or that for them. So I think let's pass the laws. And for those who are caught, should be dealt with. But the judiciary, I'm sorry to say, is very disappointing when it comes to punitive measures for kidnappers. Because you can count on your finger how many people have been prosecuted and jailed for kidnapping. Evans, the very popular kidnapper, took so many years before, in fact, there was some kind of judgment that came against him. So what is our judiciary doing? Are we just locking these people up? After a while, we all forget, like Nigerians usually do, and then they sneak out and go their own way.
Makri, the conversation never ends. That's why we have the expertise like yourself to help us make sense, because it's not making sense to us anymore. We don't understand it. That's why we bring people like you to help us make sense of the situation. We must thank you, Mr. Dennis Amakri, former DSS Deputy Director, who joined us from New York. Thank you so much. We know we had to interrupt your sleep, but thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on a quick break now. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Join us again.
We are passionate.
Welcome back. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State in the 2023 general election, Abdul Aziz Adediran, popularly known as John Doe, who has been out of the spotlight for a while, says the party's misfortune in the state is being orchestrated by disloyal members within the party. He believes their stock in trade is to work against the party for selfish reasons. He asks the alleged disgruntled elements to leave the party instead of working against its progress.
But let me correct an impression. We didn't lose 2023 election because we didn't work. No. That is why I'm here to appreciate all of you. We are more than this. You are my heroes. You did very well. Another one that I need to say to you. We did not lose 2023 because some people within the party chose to do other things. No, that's not why we lost. No. No. What they did in 2023, they did not do it because of Jando, because they have issues with Jando. No. It has been their style every election cycle. It has been a way of life of them every election cycle. In 2019, the same group declared to support ADP as against PDP candidates. 2019. Have you heard about it? Jando was not in PDP at that time. 2017, for local government election, they worked for Labour. Same PDP leaders in Lagos State. 2015, they did the same thing. Every election cycle. So what happened in 2023 wasn't because Jando did this to us or Jando wasn't. No, that has been their stock in trade. Okay, they use the excuse. And that is why today we are standing on our feet to say, if you don't want to do PDP, just carry your bag and go.
Oh, a controversy rages on, and that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. You've been served on Lunchtime.